It looks like salvation. You're lost in the Scottish Highlands, fog rolling thick across the moor, when you see it. A magnificent horse standing by the loch. Sleek, beautiful, waiting. Your legs ache. The village is miles away. This horse could save you. But here's what you don't know. That horse isn't a horse at all. It's a Kelpie. And the moment you touch its skin, your hands will fuse to its back like iron to a magnet. Then it will run. Not toward safety, toward the water. And once it dives beneath those black waves, you're not coming back up. The Kelpie is Scotland's most terrifying water spirit, a shape-shifting demon that has haunted Highland folklore for centuries. You'll find it near rivers, lochs, and streams, always where the water runs deep and dark. Most often, it takes the form of a powerful horse, but here's where it gets sinister. It can also appear as a beautiful stranger, a handsome young man or woman standing at the water's edge, calling for help. The Celts believed Kelpies were fallen spirits, creatures cursed to dwell in water, forever hungry, forever hunting. They weren't animals. They were intelligent, calculating. They understood human desire, human exhaustion, human desperation, and they used it. Imagine this. You're a weary traveler in 18th century Scotland. You've been walking for hours. The terrain is brutal. Your feet bleed. Then you see it, a stunning gray horse, bridled and saddled as if sent by Providence itself. It doesn't run. It approaches you, gently. Its eyes are calm, trusting. Every instinct tells you to climb on. So you do. Your hand touches its wet, cold flank. And that's when you realize you can't let go. Your palm is stuck, frozen to its skin like flesh to ice. Panic floods through you. You try to pull away. Nothing. The horse turns its head, and you see its eyes now. Not calm, not kind, predatory, ancient, knowing. Then it bolts. It charges toward the water at speeds no earthly horse could match. You scream. You fight. But your body is locked to this creature, dragged helplessly as it plunges into the loch. The water closes over your head. Down, down, down into the freezing black depths. Your lungs burn. Your vision fades. And the Kelpie doesn't stop until you're at the bottom, where it devours you, leaving nothing but your entrails floating to the surface. This is the Kelpie's curse. The word Kelpie likely comes from the Gaelic Kelpeach or Colpack, meaning heifer or colt. But some scholars trace it further back, to older water deities worshipped by the Picts and Celts. These weren't just monsters in bedtime stories. They were explanations. When children drowned in lochs, when travelers vanished near rivers, when livestock disappeared by the waterside, people needed a reason. The Kelpie gave them one. In medieval Scotland, every body of water had its own Kelpie. Loch Ness, Loch Lomond, the River Spey. These creatures were territorial, bound to their waters like demons to cursed ground. Parents warned their children, never approach a lone horse near water. Never trust beauty by the shore. Because Kelpies were masters of disguise, and they preyed on innocence. But the old stories say there were ways to recognize a Kelpie, if you were clever enough. Its mane would constantly drip with water, even on dry land. Its hooves were sometimes reversed, pointing backward. And if you looked closely, very closely, you might see water weeds tangled in its hair. Some legends say you could control a Kelpie if you stole its bridle. With the bridle in your possession, the creature became your servant, bound to obey your commands. It would work your fields with the strength of 10 horses, haul impossible loads, perform miraculous feats. But you had to guard that bridle with your life. Because the moment a Kelpie reclaimed it, it would drag you underwater and tear you apart in revenge. There's a tale from Aberdeenshire about a farmer who enslaved a Kelpie for 7 years. The creature built him an entire mill in a single night. But on the 7th year, the farmer's daughter accidentally returned the bridle. The Kelpie seized it, transformed, and drowned the entire family before vanishing back into its river. The message was clear: you cannot tame the wild. You cannot bargain with ancient things. When Kelpies took human shape, they became even more dangerous. They appeared as attractive strangers, wet-haired, pale-skinned, impossibly beautiful. They would stand by the water, crying for help, claiming to be lost or injured. And when you approached, they would charm you, flirt with you, lure you closer to the water's edge. Some versions say Kelpies could seduce multiple victims at once. They would appear as a horse large enough for several riders. Children especially fell for this trick. Seeing a magical pony, they would climb on together, laughing, excited. The Kelpie would allow the first child on, then the second, then the third. Each one stuck fast. Only when the creature had collected enough prey would it run for the water, carrying all of them to their deaths. But there's one rare story, where a boy escaped. He was the last to approach the horse. His friends were already mounted, calling for him to join. But something felt wrong. He reached out carefully, touching the horse with just one finger. Instantly, his finger stuck, but only his finger. In a flash of desperate brilliance, he pulled a knife from his belt and cut his own finger off. The pain was excruciating, but he was free. He ran, screaming warnings as the Kelpie charged into the loch with his friends still trapped on its back. He lived the rest of his life with 9 fingers. But he lived. The Kelpie isn't just ancient history. It's woven into Scottish identity. In 2013, 2 massive 30-meter high steel horsehead sculptures called the Kelpies were erected in Folklore, Scotland. They're monuments to the shapeshifters, but also to the working horses that built Scotland's canals and industries. The Kelpie has evolved from demon to symbol, representing both danger and power, beauty and death. And perhaps that's the real curse of the Kelpie. It reminds us that nature isn't tame, that beauty can be deadly, that the wild places of the world don't care about human comfort or human safety. They operate by older rules, darker rules, rules we've forgotten, but our ancestors remembered in their bones. So the next time you near water, any water, and you see something beautiful waiting there, something that seems too perfect, too convenient, too much like rescue, remember the Kelpie. Remember that some invitations aren't kindness. They're hunger. And the ride you think will save you might be the last ride you ever take. The Kelpie's curse isn't just a story. It's a warning that has survived 1,000 years for one simple reason. Some truths about the world don't change. Some dangers never die. They just wait beneath the surface, patient and eternal, for the next hand to reach out and touch them. You came here to learn about a monster, but you learned something better. You learned why monsters exist. Not to scare us, but to remind us. Beauty without caution is a bridge to the depths. And now you'll never look at a lone horse the same way again.